All right, welcome back in everybody to chapter 1072 of One Piece. Today, you guys are joined by two men here to talk about the chapter. Myself, I am Sai. I am your local janitor. You might know me from your neighbor's house where I fixed his sink. And we're also joined by Parvision. He seems to be a One Piece YouTuber, but on the side, he is known as the magician of Downtown Abbey. He's most notably known for his magician tricks, where he makes an entire family disappear overnight. I don't know how he does that, but,
What a crazy intro.
He's not here to reveal his secrets. We're instead here to talk about the latest chapter of One Piece. So let's just jump right into it. We have 1072, The Weight of Memory, where we have a cover page with the Mads team minus Vegapunk and the mystery woman from last week. And instead, we have the three goated scientists here crafting what seems to be inventions for world peace. What are your immediate thoughts on this cover page? Magician of Downtown Abbey.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like interested because like you hit that note, right? Peace. Like,
yeah.
We don't know them as peaceful. We even talked about it before because I think did we know that before the peace part? There was something in the previous thing.
No. We learned it in the last cover page where they said that these were scientists gathered for peace. But before that, it was just like the mad science team. We didn't know that peace was actually their objective, but...
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, even looking at their faces, like, these are not dudes aiming for peace, right? Like,
you could argue, like, maybe Caesar wants to give that devil fruit to somebody starving. Maybe Queen is crafting up some potions, right? But how do you explain Judge with a spear? Like, maybe he's using that spear to cut down trees to build a farm.
And, like...
You could argue that maybe it is for peace. Maybe we're judging a book by its cover right here.
And then you look at the title of the cover, it says mass-producing deadly weapons.
Mass-producing deadly weapons, yeah, there goes my theory.
It's even funnier, because, like, I was memeing on them on the stream, but it's like, we saw what Caesar Devil Fruit is in our timeline, and this is back then, and, like, look at that abomination. It doesn't have swirls. It's not even the right color from our
It has, like, eyes, almost.
Yeah, like, that's not even
it's
a devil
creepy
fruit.
looking
like,
fruit.
Like, you'd almost think he made a god fruit, but that's, like, not even the case. Like, that's probably, like an ogre fruit. Like, it's, like,
it's
lower...
like the first variation of a smile, which I think is really interesting because all smile devil fruits look exactly the same. They're like a weird-looking apple. This isn't an apple. Like, this is its own thing.
I feel like that low-key kind of looks like Blackbeard's fruit a little bit, like the start of it. Now I think...
Maybe, but Blackbeard's fruit has, like, these really weird tips on it.
True. Yeah, and then like again, like Queen, like we saw his pathogens in our timeline. Chopper no diff.
Amazing pathogens, right?
Like these ones are probably
he founded
just, like,
penicillin.
He's the common cold and penicillin, I guess.
Yes.
Like that's what he has in hand. And then you have Judge, who's like, we know him. Like this is the pinnacle.
Why
of
is
Judge.
Spear?
Yeah, the pinnacle of Judge is cloning. We know.
Yeah.
Like the spear has no relevance to his, like he stabbed 3 of his own soldiers with it, fine, but that's not the biggest feat he had. Like everyone else had their biggest feat highlighted in the past, and then Judge is here like
here's a spear. You later gets Garuda, guys, watch out.
Yeah, and then how is that even a deadly,
I mean, to
like
be
that's
fair.
not even really a deadly weapon.
I mean, it's a deadly weapon. I mean, spears are pretty deadly, right? Like if I take a spear and I stab you through the heart, I would say it's quite deadly.
True.
So I mean, and he later gets Garuda, so I guess it makes sense, but maybe they didn't want to, like, bring Judge into the cloning aspect of this chapter too much, so they said, hey, here's a spear instead, because it might take away from Stussy later. And then, like, people would go on crazy theories like, oh, Judge made Stussy specifically. So maybe that's why they didn't want to give Judge, like, a clone to be working on here.
Sure, I guess that, that's another way to look at it. I'm almost curious, because they say mass-producing deadly weapons, like Caesar, where are those fruits? Like, how come we haven't seen, like, busted-ass, like, garbage-ass devil fruit users?
Maybe because everybody who ate that devil fruit just dies.
Yeah.
I mean, the smile devil fruits, you laugh pretty much until the day you die, so maybe these just straight up kill you. It's not worth it.
On Queen's side, is that, like we saw tree fever way back then. Like, is it that Queen made some kind of disease that was current to our timeline or current to that timeline? Like maybe the white lead disease. Nah, we know what the white lead disease is, but the disease that got Nami.
That was like jungle fever from Little Garden, right?
But Dr. Kreia did say that, like, isn't this supposed to be extinct? Oh, but then she said, like, were you in a jungle on an ancient like island or something?
Were you at a very specific jungle with dinosaurs?
It's like, yes.
That rhymes with Whittle Warden.
And were you wearing skimpy clothing? And then she just like looked down and was like, yeah.
Were you perhaps bitten by an insect? And then Nami has like that exact flashback. Yeah, no, I mean, this cover page is really goated though, man. Like, you have some of my favorite characters all gathered together here, and we finally got rid of that loser Vegapunk too, so you just have the goats, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is your channel, this is
we got the goats cooking up some fire, boys.
I can't fight you here. I fought you enough on my stream.
What is the dog doing?
And apparently, everyone wanted to side with you on my stream.
Okay, hear me out. Okay, to everybody watching this video right now, Par said that Vegapunk is way cooler than Caesar, but I just gotta say right here, I think Caesar's a lot cooler. I think that's a hot take. No, okay, see, Vegapunk, dope, right? He's a genius, blah, blah, but we're talking about Caesar. And you gotta remember, Vegapunk has, 6 clones of himself. That's kind of lame.
Talk your talk.
Caesar has the first original clone in the entire series in the form of Gangster Gastino. He was able to create a clone so identical to himself that we all believe it to be Caesar, but we all know that Gangster Gastino is his own character. He is 2 separate people in the popularity polls, and he both made top 100.
Wait, you didn't say he was separated.
Oh, I forgot to leave that. Oh, dude, how could I leave that out? Yeah, Gangster Gastino and Caesar are counted as different people on the popularity polls. Same with Usopp and Sogeking, actually.
So, which one is in the cover story?
This, I believe, is Caesar Clown. I had to squint really hard.
This is Caesar Clown.
The clone goes hard, so
on my stream, you're batting for Gangster Gastino, which is fair. And I didn't say Caesar was less cool. I just said Caesar's less sucks as a character. He's a bad gas.
Morality aside, right? Morality aside, Caesar's
evil.
Cool.
If Caesar was evil or good evil, it doesn't matter. He has the best fruit to make it happen, whatever he wants, and he didn't. And the thing is, like, whether or not you think he's awakened or not, because he has this Hagoromo scarf, like, the fact that he just can't do anything, like, sure, he has a W on Katakuri, right? Like, we'll give him that, right? But, like, I don't know. Why was the difference between, if he could do that to Katakuri, why did he lose to Perospero? He shouldn't have been like enslaved.
He had to get nerfed, bro. Otis said, "Man, I gave this guy the gas. I have to bring him back a little bit." You know where he made the comment that Akainu would find the One Piece in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had to nerf Caesar because he was also referring to him too. He is that guy.
Yeah, you think Caesar could find the One Piece faster than Akainu?
No, not really. But I mean, it is a broken devil fruit, right? Because gas is so like it's abundant. There's so many applications to it. He could remove like certain things from the air. He could like instantly kill people if he wanted to.
Yeah, so his devil fruit.
It needs to be nerfed, right?
In his hands, it's fixed.
I mean, it's like, broken. But you could say that with anybody's devil fruit, right? Like Luffy's devil fruit. Chapter 1 all the way up to like chapter 500, like you could say, oh, Luffy isn't properly using his devil fruit, like what's up here? He can go Sun God Nika mode, but he's not, because that's just like his hybrid.
But it's because he thought it was a rubber fruit, and if you think about it like that, he's been using his fruit really fucking well.
Yeah, but okay, that's fair, but I'm just saying Caesar has to get nerfed somewhere. We can't just have him like killing everybody with a deadly gas that they can't help but inhale.
I mean, he was. It's a Shinokuni. That was literally his vendetta.
Yeah, but even then, like, he got negged by Haki. But, that's just how it is. He needs to be nerfed. we can't just have, like, a world-ending fruit out of nowhere. Like, imagine if somebody had the death. Like, if I had the death fruit, like, I mean, yeah, that needs to get nerfed, right?
I agree.
But like, the instant kill.
him being nerfed doesn't change that the nerf makes him a bad character and user of his fruit. That's what the nerf does.
But
you don't
it
ignore
doesn't
that
mean
part.
that he's not cool. Caesar is so cool. What are you talking about?
No, he's not. That's the side product of the nerf.
All right, okay. I need to hear some logical people in the comment section here. Please, Par's on a rampage. Ever since he had a child, he's been going for the good guys, batting for the wrong team, as I call it. Let's bring him back.
How many times does a character get nerfed into the fucking ground and people are like, oh, this is the coolest character still? Nobody does that.
Okay. I didn't say he's the coolest character. He's obviously top 10. He's obviously top 10.
Guys, go into my stream and find out what he said.
Here's the thing. I think Caesar is cooler than Vegapunk. And I want to hear people agreeing with me. If you have a different opinion, I don't want to hear it. All I want to see is all I want to see are the clowns in the chat. Caesar clown, I want to see it down there.
Clowns rise up.
Clowns rise up. Clown army. So, on to the chapter, because we all know how the Caesar debate's going to end. We get a little bit of a narrator box talking about, you know, the first successful human clone, and we see it later on in the chapter, so we'll skip past that part, and we go right to Bonnie crying on the floor because she transformed herself into a child. Vegapunk ends up falling for this, and he's like, whoa, we gotta help Bonnie. So, would you help Bonnie if you were in Vegapunk's shoes? Or would you know this is a trap?
We didn't see their relationship growing up, right?
Yeah.
You just know, because if they have it almost seems like Vegapunk has not like a father-daughter thing, but like an uncle-daughter thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Uncle-daughter.
Like, uncle-niece.
Godfather.
Right? Yeah, and it feels like that. And if that's the case, then I get it. But no, logically,
He should know.
Yeah, I say this a lot about Vegapunk, where I'm just like, why is he like? Why do I feel like I'm smarter than Vegapunk? Like, this is my gripe when a writer writes in like who's the tantamount like the smartest character in the verse, and then you just like question everything that they do because like things, and it's like it's fine here and there, but like unless they give that kind of thing like an uncle niece relationship where there's like an obvious bias or whatever, this it doesn't make sense.
All I gotta say,
like, oh my god, Bonnie, we need to save her. It's like
he has the biggest brain in the One Piece verse, but based off of this first page, we can all say that he has the biggest heart as well. See, that sounded wholesome, huh? Wow, that was nice.
Dang, 2023 size
was good.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, he should have really just kicked Bonnie to the curb. He should know this is a trap. Like, come on. If you have over 100 million berry bounty, you're not going to be crying like you have a boo-boo on your knee or something. Come on.
Yeah. And like, I mean, like, apparently he should know her, right? Like,
yeah.
Even if you get the bias of the uncle niece thing, this distorted future was something that we didn't know of, but he should know that she could just Hulk out like this. Like, I mean,
yeah, go to a kid, then go to whatever this is.
Like earlier you asked me like, would I help Bonnie? Well, like, yeah, maybe at the time because I didn't know what Bonnie's capable of, but if I knew she was capable of turning into the Hulk and Hulk smashing all over the place, hell no, I'm running. What the fuck? Like,
distorted future, man, what an ability. So we know that Bonnie can age people up and down, but this chapter really expands upon her ability as well. Like, we see the distorted future, and it makes me wonder if she could just tap into different future timelines of herself and just pull out whatever she wants, right? Because we even saw, like, what, bad future Luffy. Now I'm wondering if there's a good future Luffy or a distorted future Luffy out there somewhere that Bonnie could have transformed him to instead.
Yeah, and she does have the control of it because, like, later on we see how she used on Vegapunk turns it younger. And that's where it's, like, curious because it's, like, does the younger one seems to be the foundation, and it might be similar to how devil fruits work, right? How they explain the many branches of humanity. It might be that there was a core out there, which is this baby punk that we see, and then like the alternate universe people, she's able to tap into that. But it's so she's like the multiverse. Simple. Yeah, it seems simple. It's like it's almost like you are able to bring any variant that you'd want to, and like. Yeah. It sounds simple, but it's also like not. Like, how does she control? Like, so she can Hulk out, but she can also like turn into the Sorbet Kingdom, like queen or whatever in Marriage Raw at the Reverie, she turned into that like frail old lady, right?
Yeah.
So like, is that just like a mental thing, or does she have to like do something prior? Can she just be like, I want to be the Hulk, I want to be this old lady? Like, how does that work?
But it's not just like I want to be the Hulk. It's like she pulls the distorted future and brings it upon herself. So it's like, maybe it's not like, oh, I want to be a Hulk. Maybe it's like, well, in this timeline, I look like this or something.
So do you think it's RNG then?
I don't think it's RNG. I think she actually picks what she wants to turn into.
Maybe. Here,
I think she
how about
picks
this?
what she wants to turn into, but she has like a limited pool of options, right?
How about this? Maybe it's like when she's full, she reaches her best timeline. That's why she's a glutton. And when she's hungry, she ends up as the frail alternate timeline one.
It could be, but would the devil fruit like be based off of like how much she eats though? I mean, I guess we don't know the name of it, right? We don't know the name of her fruit yet.
Yeah, we don't know the name, but I'm more like thinking like, you know, how do you achieve the bad timelines, and like it's decision making, right?
I think it's decision making.
Each person might have a different criteria as to what determines their good. Like, meaning like me and you, we could make the same good decision, but that might translate to a different future for both of us.
Yeah.
It could be a bad future for me and a good future for you based on who we are, right? And I think that maybe for Bonnie, she might have found out that like, hey, when I'm hungry, the bad future comes out, and when I'm full, the good future comes out. So she needs to follow a path where she's well fed. I don't know. And then maybe Luffy's a similar way in that light. I wonder, did Luffy eat? Was Luffy hungry at any point before she transformed
No.
him? They just ate, didn't they?
Yeah, they just ate, so he shouldn't be hungry because he said he was really full, and we even saw Fat Luffy for a minute too.
Yeah, so I wonder if there was some like indicator of what could have determined, because maybe it's not food for Luffy, maybe it's being with his friends. Maybe if he's with his friends, then he accesses the good timeline. If he's separated, then he's on the bad timeline. And that could make sense, because with Luffy, if you go back to his childhood trauma, he said that the reason why he endures all the pain he does is because the
he doesn't
greatest
want to be
pain,
alone.
Yep, the greatest pain is being alone. So it might be for him, being with his friends is the good timeline, and then being away from his friends. And that would go to the Jinbei moment, right? That would go to the post Marineford moment where he was like so broken and he almost forgot about his friends. He almost like gave up on life. And that would have been the bad timeline, him abandoning his friends, abandoning that future, but Jinbei pulled him back to the good timeline. It could be something like that.
It could be. I mean, I'm still on the boat of like, I think Bonnie just picks and chooses what they turn into.
Yeah,
because I just went back to the chapter, and when Luffy gets aged up, it says it's a glimpse at a possible future.
Yeah.
So I wonder
So
if like if she could do that for herself too, like she could do like possible future Bonnie.
Yeah, but I'm also wondering, right? Because like, if she can, so I mean, I know Haki can eliminate your powers or the devil fruit things, right?
Yeah.
But like, to what extent? Because like, what if Bonnie accidentally ages someone to a good timeline? But like, if she can choose it, then doesn't that mean that she's just broken? Like, she could just age anybody to...
Yes, I think it's broken, and that's why they kind of nerf it in this chapter, where she says, calm down, my power doesn't last forever on living things. So eventually they have to revert back to the original like version of themselves.
Yeah, but like, even here, it's like, it's a decent amount of time. Like, she was able to child abuse him.
Yeah, but I mean, how much time went by when she hit out Vegapunk though, right? Like, it's gotta at least last for an hour, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a sizable amount of time.
Yeah, if it only lasts for like 5 minutes, then it's like, it's kind of a joke of a devil fruit.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like, in the course of a fight, if she's able to pull out any future out of someone and just turn him into a frail old man, that's kind of broken, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's like,
I'd
you know,
say so.
like, the way I see, like, Sugar's fruit or those kinds of fruits, it's like, yeah, like, Haki can resist it, but you have to be aware of what's about to happen to you in order to resist it. So, like, in Law's case, like, he knew what happened to him and he was able to resist it. And, so, like, for Bonnie, I would imagine like it would be like if she's able to touch you, yeah, she can aid you. In the same case as Luffy. Luffy has conquers hockey and all the hockey, but he's not aware of the change. So could Bonnie decommission Luffy like that in the middle of a fight? No, I don't think so. Right? So then that's where the complexities of this
even after
fruit would have
you get
to come
hit
in.
by a fruit, like maybe if Vegapunk had a lot of hockey and he was like a master at it, maybe while he's a baby he could just like do what Law did and just like negate the effects. I don't think I don't think you have to activate your hockey right when you're hit, because even when Law negated Q's Devil Fruit, it was like in the submarine, like after he turned into a woman.
No, I agree. So, and then that's the question, right? Because I would imagine a baby and like an 80-year-old man, even if they had hockey, how does a baby and an 80-year-old man, like some people don't think. I just hopped into a Brago cold stream where he said Garp isn't even top 30, and it's like it's because he's old, and it's like some people think that just because you're old you lose your hockey completely, and it's like, couldn't Bonnie just age you to the point where you couldn't use hockey? Like if you're an infant, you can't use hockey like that. If you're a 90-year-old man and on the verge of death, could you use hockey? Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's hard because like, when Bonnie ages them, they're still the same person. Yeah. So it's like, it's just the body that changes. I mean, like, because Vegapunk is still talking like he's a normal guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like he's like saying goo goo gaga. No,
but he did say the doodads are the manifestation of the years I just lost. So he did lose something.
Yeah, we don't know years.
Exactly.
Like Bonnie's fruit is so interesting, but also speaking of her fruit, when she hits him, we also see the doodads fly out of him.
The doodads.
We see gems, we see stars, we see moons, hearts, and they're all glistening, right?
Yeah.
Like we even have that glisten effect while we're Bonnie's hitting him with the pipe, and this immediately reminds me, at least, it brings me back to like what Usopp and Nami said at the beginning of the arc, where they were talking about futuristic treasure and how it's a bouquet of like antique gems, and I'm like could this be like a reference to that, and that maybe like there's antique gems or years or doodads from the Void Century still lingering around the world right now?
Wait, that's kind of cool. I like that. Like there could be a whole treasure cove of like things like this, and it could just be the years
from the Void Century or something similar, right? Because Devil Fruits do something different with each person. But I mean, I feel like it's very specific that this happened to Vegapunk right here, because every time we've seen Bonnie use your Devil Fruit before this has never happened.
Yeah,
like this is definitely a new addition to her.
I don't think we've seen her de-age anyone in the manga, but we did see it in movie Stampede. We saw it in Stampede.
We saw her de-age
Zoro. No, herself.
Yeah, she de-aged herself. But back in Sabaody, she de-aged a bunch of Marines that went to attack her.
Oh,
so maybe they turned into like kids and old people, but there were no doodads around the ground. So
yeah, so maybe
unless you, the magician of Downtown Abbey, the Backstreet Bully, made them disappear.
So it could be it could be that, or it could be Oda just figured it out maybe later on.
You know what's funny? Last night I was thinking about this collab, and it took me so long to come out with the Downtown Abbey thing too.
You see that, guys? You see how much effort Sai puts into these collabs?
I really thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a janitor or like a mechanic in the next collab, and then Par can be like a magician of downtown.
And like a lot of you guys think that Sai just comes on thing, no thoughts. He's just a brainless goofball coming in. No, he puts thought into every single motion, action. Like the pixels on the screen, they're all designed perfect for you. So you need to pay attention.
Also paid actors as well. So if you see a cat in the background, it's not a cat, it's a person in a cat suit.
It's Hattori.
It's Hattori. Yeah, he's just in the background.
But on the doodads thing, like that's just it's like interesting, because like when I first hit this in the thing, in the light of the weight of memory, I thought this is what it was talking about, the years I lost. But then it's weird because, like you said, Vegapunk is still like acting completely normal. He even says something interesting: "Give me back my golden years," and then the shining of that stuff. Like, I wonder, like, could Bonnie reset people? Like, someone went down a bad timeline, right? Like, who's an example of someone like all of the Damaro Black Strats, Moria.
Mori would have done a bad timeline.
Yo, yeah, and so maybe she turns him into a baby, and instead of like gold and like glistening things, there's like toxic waste that comes out.
Coal.
Yeah, coal. Yeah, that'd be cool. Huh. I wonder, and like
her powers are so fascinating. I mean, dude, father-daughter, broken abilities. All I gotta say.
So far, for sure.
Pretty dang broken.
How does someone even get this power? And like, how is this power going to be used? There's so many things. Like, and like, we're going to get to it later, but like, people already, like, they're doubting, like, oh, like, this is going to be so bad. Like, so many things. I forget what else in this chapter, but people are like, oh, this is going to be gross, like, later on in the story. But they said that same thing about, like, time travel stuff, but Oda handled that pretty well with Toki.
Yeah, because he just killed her.
Yeah.
He just killed Toki and was like, yeah, the devil fruit, it was never really found again.
Yeah. Yeah,
that is how you handle story writing and plot holes. Just say the character dies, you're never going to see that fruit again.
Which is significant considering Oda doesn't like to kill characters.
Yeah. He was like, man, I need to give Odin some ties to the Void Century, but we then have to kill her off in a horrid fashion to where nobody would question it, right? Like, they just shot like 1,000,000 arrows at Lady Toki and set her on fire. So,
if you think about it like that, you kind of realize, like, wait, Oda kind of, like, he does have his head on straight. He does actually kill the characters.
He's thinking, bro. He's thinking. Oda's a thinking man.
Kinemon and Pell aside, he did kill Toki.
Bro, I was playing the One Piece Odyssey game.
They retcon. The retcon?
No, they did not retcon Pell. But what they did was, in the One Piece Odyssey game, which is the game that just released, when they got to Alabasta, the whole crew didn't... I realized that they didn't know that Pell actually survived that blast.
Oh, yeah.
Because while they were in Alabasta, they were talking to Vivi or whatever, and they're like, oh, yeah, we can get rid of the bomb in Times Square, and then somebody doesn't have to die anymore. And I was like, bro, they don't even know that Pell lived. What's the point of keeping Pell alive? The Straw Hats don't even know he made it out okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny to think about.
I'm pretty sure in the newspaper... Oh, not the one they read, but I'm pretty sure in one of the newspapers next, like, Cobra was in a wheelchair.
And Pell was there, right?
I'm pretty sure Pell's in the background.
Yeah.
In one of the news. Not like the ones after Wano, but like before, like during the Reverie time. So maybe they didn't see it, but like...
If they read the paper, they would know that Pell is alive. And
yeah.
They'd probably be shocked. They're like, whoa, like there's a ghost in the paper. Do you see this? Like, Pell's ghost is haunting Alabasta. What is going on?
They like don't go to Vivi because of all the Marajwa news. Sorry, they don't go to Marajwa for the Vivi news, but they see Pell and like, oh my god, we gotta go to Vivi immediately. There's a ghost next
She's
to her.
haunted.
They turn the Ghostbusters and Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Oh,
they turn into Velma.
Goodness. Oh my! Wait, did we talk about this?
We have not. We'll talk about Velma at the end of this video.
Okay.
I think that'll be a funny topic. So. Going on with the chapter, we see Kuma. You know, he's climbing the red line, and it's pretty funny, bro. He's climbing up. He gets shot down. This what?
No, go on. I need to hear.
It's a great parallel because Kuma's climbing the wall. Bonnie's looking for her father, and then we see him get shot down, and then he starts going sicko mode on the Marines. It's a good little scene here, very emotional, and we end off the whole segment with Bonnie finding his memories, which I think is gonna, this is foreshadowing pain. The last time we saw this giant ball, Zoro took a giant ounce of pain. We're about to take a giant ounce of pain into our hearts. I feel like this is gonna be a really sad backstory. Oda's hyping it up and everything. And, I feel like this is just me and this is my guessing here, but I feel like by the end of the backstory with Kuma, we're gonna see the real Kuma just straight up get obliterated or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like it's gonna happen.
It's interesting because right now, Kuma's story is paralleling the legendary Iron Giant, right?
Yeah.
Randomly awakens, runs at the red line, climbs it, and then is like, it just stops. And it's attacking the red line, apparently, or Marajwa. And the legendary Iron Giant stopped, and they didn't do anything about it. Right? They just kind of like sent it to Egghead or something, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're understanding. With Kuma, like you're saying, like it almost feels like they're not going to do that and it's going to obliterate his ass. But like, is there a world where he just stops in his tracks and then he just like, they're like, oh, nice Kuma. we'll keep Kuma. You know what I mean? Like,
no, there's no way. I don't like. Unlike the ancient robot, I don't think they're gonna like say, "Hey, here's Kuma back. You can have him." You know, he kind of went crazy for a minute. I feel like they just straight up destroy him.
Yeah, which makes like one of my ideas. I might have mentioned in our previous conversation, but like there might be something special about the legendary Iron Giant to the Gorosei and the Eam. But I don't know at this moment. But like going back to the pain thing, like yeah. This backstory is about to be crazy. Like this, the bubble, the pain. And I wanted to throw this question at you. Was like, now that we know that he threw out his memories.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, well, actually, no, the question got answered after because I stopped early and then they kind of answered it. Like Vegapunk was like, oh no, don't like do that. That's pain, right? And then Bonnie clarifies like, no, that's memories.
I know what this is. You can't lie to me.
And I thought that was interesting because I like whether or not I'm right or wrong about this. It's like, couldn't Vegapunk be saying that same thing? Like the memories are pain.
Yeah.
That's what's painful here. Like and like he's not lying to her. That bubble is pain. And I was wondering, I was like, because we don't have the colors of this. And I was wondering, is there a world where this bubble is the same bubble that he pulled out of Luffy? And the pain that Zoro took was the memories his body had of the pain. That's why when Luffy got up, he was just like, wow, I feel like brand new. Like it felt like nothing happened to him. And then Zoro said nothing happened. You know what I mean? I feel like, I was like, huh. Because, you know, pushing out the pain is one thing, but like, it's interesting. But then he says like, you know, your power can take something intangible like pain and give it a physical form. But then he says like a total wireless transmission of nerve signals. And then I was thinking like maybe, because memories are also just nerve signals. When you have a memory, it's not like basically when you have a memory, it's like the same neurons firing from when you first thought that or felt that thing. Yeah. That's all that's happening. The same neurons that connected when you had that thing, that's what's firing. So when they connect it back to the nerve signals, which, you know, ironically enough, I brought up when I forget which video is, I think Elemental Hockey with Enel. I was saying it because Enel had a similar thing where he could like read people's minds and he had the electricity fruit. And so I was basically saying like the reason why his mantra really worked wasn't because he had great observation hockey. It was more so that he was reading people's nerve signaling over than like observation hockey on its own, which would make sense, you know, now because, you know, a lot of people say people with like broken ass devil fruits, they don't develop hockey as well as other people. And so Enel had one of the most broken fruits. So him getting observation hockey might not make sense, but him using his fruit to make pseudo observation hockey could make sense in this light. And I'm just like, damn, do all these fruits like connect on this like thing? Is that what Kuma's doing here? I don't really know.
Yeah,
it's
really, it was an interesting one because like he did have observation hockey.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that is confirmed. Yeah. But yeah, like I don't know how strong it was because he only used it in the beginning of his fight against Luffy. He's like, oh, here's mantra, and then he like starts dodging attacks. And then like after Luffy was shown to like be resistant to lightning, he was like, oh, let me forget all about mantra now. Yeah, and I'll just fight him regularly.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I don't know. I'm just kind of like more thinking of like it feels like there's a loose way where Oda's like connecting these things. Like now I'm almost thinking like, is that how Perona's power works? Like does Perona's like ghost trigger the nerve signals in your body and that's how it makes you depressed and stuff like that? Is there like a line of logic where Oda creates these connections for those like state of mind kind of fruits? It'd be interesting.
It's like how far does he want to go with it?
Yeah, especially since this is the last saga, so
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long last saga. This is going to be the longest one out of all of them, I feel like.
Yeah. I just realized Vegapunk's actually writing, like, actual equations on the thing. I wonder if there's some, like, brainiac calculus, like, differential equations. I wasn't going to say nerd because I kind of knew that stuff, but, like, like, nerd who's going to know that stuff and tell us if he's actually writing, like, meaningful stuff there.
It looks like he is.
Yeah, it looks like there's some meat there.
Yeah, speaking of Kuma and Vegapunk though, Vegapunk mentions that somebody weighed a soul, and we kind of got into that on your stream. But with this though, I feel like the scientist that might have done this. Do you have any like idea who this might be, or do you think it's just like a throwaway character?
Oh, I didn't. Maybe that's the Willie Karen person. Like, who knows? That could maybe be that. But
The most
I think
popular theory has been Hogback.
Hogback. Interesting. Is Hogback from West Blue?
Yes.
Oh.
And just because he's like going around like, you know, experimenting on dead people, like that's why I think a lot of people are, you know, gathering around that idea. And I think it'd be kind of cool if, like, you know, Vegapunk knew Hogback to an extent, or at least heard of his work.
It's interesting because it could be Hogback, or wasn't there a doctor that was renowned for Law's fruit prior to Law? And that
was there?
Yeah, I think like someone said that like prior to Law there was a doctor who was renowned with that fruit. And we never got the connection that it was Hogback, but it was very similar. Like they would do stuff. Double check that, but like maybe there, because is Law from the West Blue?
Law's from the North Blue.
North Blue. But that aside, like the fruit could be from the West Blue. I don't know, but like I thought that there was someone before Law that was renowned for it.
I don't recall that. So if anybody here knows, let us know.
Yeah,
was there a previous Ope Ope no Mi user? So, one more thing with this, though, is that Kuma has bear ears on his hair. He took the hat off. He still has them on. People are wondering if this might have something to do with his race or if it's just his hair. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, like, immediate things with his hair and his ears?
I mean, my biggest thing was just like obviously connecting. I think on the stream I was like, is he like half mink or something? Like, are those ears real? Are they decorative? They're still there now.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously anything that you think about with Kuma, it's like, how does this connect to special people, special race kind of thing? So I'm not too sure. But also, yeah, apparently the Ope Ope no Mi, in the past when a certain doctor ate the fruit, the doctor was able to perform miraculous operations that saved many lives and cured all sorts of diseases in a way that no ordinary surgeon was capable of. That was apparently chapter 765.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it could be that person if they do want to like expand upon that.
Yeah.
And if he is like from the West Blue.
The Ope Ope no Mi would be a good fruit to, you know, over Hogback. The like fleshing out the Ope Ope no Mi's previous user would be good timing because last saga and the Ope Ope no Mi has a central focal point to that, right? Because Doflamingo said it was important for the treasure or whatever. But also, you know, now we're with Vegapunk and removing pain. And can Law do this? Law can maybe remove people's pain and memories too, right?
I feel like he could.
Yeah, like if he
I don't know about memories, but I feel like pain for sure.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, there's something possible here. Like if Law was sitting in this conversation and understood, like, wait a second, you can do all that?
He would be a really good sidekick to Vegapunk, I feel like.
Yeah, honestly. Which is, he ended up being Caesar's sidekick, but like, damn.
Could've been Vegapunk. I mean, even Law knows that Caesar's way cooler. Like, let's be real here.
Wouldn't Law have access to Vegapunk? Because he was a warlord?
I feel like the government wouldn't want him to come over here, right?
Maybe.
Like this is like he need like a good reason to get to Vegapunk.
True, but I feel like once you get warlord status, can't you just do like anything you want? I mean, they like
sort of. I mean, I feel like you still need like permission. I mean, Boa still had to get the Impel Down thing cleared by the admiral. Like Sengoku had to give permission for Boa Hancock to go to Impel Down.
Was it that? I thought it was just Momonga.
No, Momonga sent a message to HQ. Yeah, Momonga sent a message to HQ, and then they approved it, and then that is how they ended up being able to go. Because Boa called him the night before to say, hey, we want to go to Impel Down, and then Momonga, during that night, called HQ.
Getting a call from Boa late in the night.
I know.
What would you do?
But then again, it's Momonga, so he was a man of culture. He's really
no, he's not. He had to stab himself was succumbed to the.
But even after that, though, like he's been like super solid. Like he never once had hard eyes, bro. Like he was chilling. He even looked at.
He stabbed himself.
But no. Even throughout his whole interaction with Boa, like he still never had hard eyes. Like even during Impel Down and everything, where like all the other people were going crazy.
Can't argue.
Momonga's a goat. All I gotta say.
Yeah,
Vice
Momonga's a
Admiral's
goat.
coming in hot.
Yeah, Yamakachi.
Way better than Vegapunk.
Woohoo. Yeah, way better than Vegapunk, huh?
Yep.
Let me
Everybody's
just
better
tell
than
the
Vegapunk.
chat
You know
when
what? I'm
you're-
joining in on the Vegapunk hate train. I hope Lucci and the boys beat all of them.
Let me just tell you this. Maybe it's because I'm Asian. I don't know if you're Asian, Sai. But,
I'm not Asian.
The common rule is, you know, when you're in someone else's house, you abide by their rules. So we're here. We're Yamakachi. Woo! like
Vice
Momonga,
Admirals,
woo!
yay! Hooray! So, something funny about this though that I just like thought of.
Yeah.
Now that I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here with the cloning stuff. Now that we know that clones exist, do you remember how there was like a theory that Under Shaka's mask was like a clone of Dragon?
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I guess that kind of like does come back into the fray, but we'll get to that later. So
yeah,
back onto the chapter.
Yeah, with the Grams thing, I think like honorable shout out because like, you know, that was a theory that was real to our world. I don't know if I think 21 grams is actually the exact number that they.
Yeah, it is
like,
the exact number.
Yeah, so you said you knew like Dr. Duncan
It's
or
like
something like that.
Dr. like Duncan McDougall or something.
What a name! What a name!
Yeah, it's like a One Piece name.
Yeah, that's honestly Oda wrote the real history.
I think it was like Duncan McDouglas.
Mac Douglas. Yeah, so
McDouglas.
So like that's a real theory that came out. I don't know, like I feel like that's such an easy thing to like deny, like prove or deny, but I don't know if we've ever done that with like an autopsy or anything like that.
It essentially came down to like he didn't know by the end of his days he just had no clue.
Yeah.
He published one paper about it and then people criticized him and then he just never did it again.
That's so sad because what if he was right? But like that aside, like in the One Piece world, there is something that does leave your body when you die, and that was told to us in Thriller Bark, and I like know about it more heavily because of the shadows theory. It's the shadow. Your shadow leaves you when you die, and your shadow does contain your personality, your battle stuff, and I think even Ryuma's corpse, for example, had his memories, but it was really interesting because Brook entered into Ryuma's body, but it retained like Ryuma's like everything, which is like a reverse situation, which lends itself to an opposite thing too, where it's like people were talking about how Brook's soul, we actually saw it leave, and that could be the weight too. Maybe somewhere along the line it's the soul and the shadow combined, and that's the 21 grams.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 grams is the soul and 10 grams is the shadow. I don't know, but it's cool because you know, Oda has already introduced this concept to us in multiple ways, and now he brought like a real world theory into this, and I wonder if he's gonna bring back those like old points, because that was the very premise of like most of my videos. Is like I feel like a lot of these things that Oda threw at us during pre-time skip, they are important things that Oda just like, you know, was having fun with, and you couldn't really tell in the scope of his 25-year long story, but here we are him bringing things back into relevancy, and I wonder
what else Oda will bring into One Piece now that we have this coming in.
I mean, like when you think
we kind
about
of have
it,
a lot of references already, right?
Yeah, all the Vegapunks,
like, pretty much
right?
every island is a reference to something else in the real world too.
Yeah, and every single Vegapunk is a reference to a like a world-renowned kind of like intellectual and of some form or other, and like even like something like I see him doing more stuff with Einstein, because Einstein did a lot of things that were relevant even after his death. Like he predicted like 100-year gravitational tidal wave based off of like 2 supernova crashing, and so it was like 1918 when he saw that it happened, and so he said in 2018, I believe, we would see the Earth would feel the effects and it would be measurable. And he already died by then, but that was a prediction he had, and he was proven right. And it's like crazy how like someone could do something like that. Like imagine me and you, like that's like a theory about One Piece, but about the real world. And then like, you know, how many people call us crazy for our theories, and then he's just like, how many people called him, yeah, gravitational tidal wave, yeah, okay, Einstein. And then he dies.
If I was alive the time Einstein was, I'd meme on him so hard.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
You see Einstein walking down the street, like, be like, "Oh God, it's the gravitational wave, Einstein! It's happening sooner than you thought."
Yeah,
I'd be goofing
like,
on that guy.
Like Tesla, Einstein, those are both people who got memed on super hard, I feel.
Every time you see Tesla, you touch him like zap, zap, zap. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, God, it's electricity.
not Psy bullying.
I'd bully all the
geniuses.
geniuses of the world.
I feel like Oda's definitely gonna make like references to that. Like,
Yeah.
here for sure.
It's gonna happen. Do you think he'll make a Velma reference?
I thought you wanted to talk about Velma at the end.
He's gonna make a Velma reference in One Piece. It's gonna be the Void Century. It's just Velma.
Let me just tell you, the last panel of this chapter shocked me just as much as seeing the new Velma. Seeing that commercial. I think I tuned into your stream, and you know the commercial before Twitch? It just hit me with that. I was like, what the fuck am I looking
What
at?
is going on? Is this Velma-san? Velma. Oh, naruhodo.
Oh my
So
goodness.
going on with the chapter though, past the Bonnie stuff and the Kuma stuff, we make it back to the Labo phase where we see that the Straw Hats are watching Zoro and Kaku go at it. And they're like, yo, Zoro has this in the bag. It's whatever. No way he'd lose. It's 2 against 3. They'll figure something out. And then Shaka says, no, look again. It's 2 versus 7 now. And they're up against the best of the best. Which is very fascinating because by the end of this chapter, we learned that Stussy has betrayed CP0. But the thing with this that I made note of, and I thought it was very fascinating, is that since Shaka and the Vegapunks know who their ally is on this island, that it's interesting that he says 2 versus 7 and not 3 versus 6 and includes Stussy in the Straw Hat roster. So that is one of my main reasons why Stussy might not be an ally of Vegapunk. Because he knows who it is. There's no reason to say, oh, like, Stussy is gonna help us, blah, 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 to the Straw Hats in a closed room. Like, there's no reason why he wouldn't say that already. So even to Shaka in that panel where we see the Seraphim, he's counting Stussy against them as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm falling in line with that. But yeah, the Seraphim showed up here because they calculated that they have no idea how long the bear is going to be down. They were like, they made a decision that coming up to the Labo phase was the best thing for CP0 and their order. Which I thought was really cool, but we still don't see them talking at all, so they're kind of still like mindless robots in a way. Because I was wondering, like, man, if they're making their own decisions, I wonder if they can just say, wow, let's not help CP0, let's help Vegapunk instead. But I guess that is not the case.
Yeah, which is...
Yeah.
It makes you wonder with this, right? Like, adding they have limited decision-making capabilities. It, like, makes you wonder, like, how important those authority chips are. Is there a world where eventually they could just revolt against the authority chip? Do they... with age, can they do that? Because we do know that there's a child mindset aspect thing, as they were protective over Jinbei, who was still a child, and Esper is still a problematic kid or a problem child or whatever. So and they referred to Boa on Amazon Lily as a kid too. So it's like, you know, one way or another, these are not adults. Maybe when they become adults, they do have a way to go against their authority chip.
Yeah.
And that also is interesting in the line of Stussy, which we talked a very long time about on the stream. I don't even know if we're going to get to all of that here. But what I did want to say is, like, I almost wonder if there's a world where, and it's weird. It is weird. Where Vegapunk's main Stella body has, like, some kind of blockade before, like, not the satellites, they do share a brain, but they also only update with it once a day, right? Like, so maybe there's, like, other things that Vegapunk can do to block them from seeing that information, like seeing information from his Mads days, or maybe, like, he knows who Stussy is, this main Stella body, because we haven't seen him react or interact to any of this yet, right? I don't think he's...
Yeah.
No, a few chapters ago, he was in the control room with them about the White Warrior, and in the panel, Stussy would be in the screen.
Yeah, she was there.
Right? So,
but I mean, like, all the Vegapunks would know who the ally is, though, right?
Yeah, so
because I mean, it was Pythagoras and Edison and shot. Like, everybody was talking about the ally. Even Vegapunk was in on the conversation, so they know who it is.
Yeah, I think
they're the ones who brought it up first. Like, the real Vegapunk didn't even talk about it until after they did.
I'm leaning heavily towards what you were saying, like that. Yeah, that the person who they're asking for help from is a completely different person. But now, I mean, we'll talk about later with the Stussy stuff. But like now that we have Stussy in the mix, in the way that she was mixed in this, woo,
kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's really spicy.
I'm gonna say it right now, but this is a little bit of a plot twist, might I say?
Yeah, because like when we first got Stussy landing on the thing, I said that she would be a triple agent. I was like, this is weird. I'm not gonna put my foot down on this, but something is up here. Something is weird. I don't know. And then they gave her the line that she has some backstory, right? Why include that if we weren't gonna get it? We are gonna get it. But even with, I was like expecting a plot twist, right? And then Oda took that and turned it into a Twizzler pretzel and made it even crazier than I could even ever imagine. The last panel of this was like one of the craziest developments I've ever thought. Like, especially because it's like I was looking in the right direction and like I got jumps. You know, like it's like when you play your goofy ass horror games, like you know a scare is coming and then you still get scared. Yeah, and then that's what I feel like. I was looking in the right direction and I got jump scared. 100%.
It's pretty crazy too, considering everybody who's around Stussy at the moment. Like, we have Edison and we have Lilith on their way. We have Sanji and Frankie going out there as well. We have Zoro and Brook there and all the Seraphim. We have such a weird cast. And for Stussy to immediately like take down Kaku and then say that she's gonna take down Lucci later, it's like, yo, like what's gonna happen here? Is it gonna be like everybody versus Stussy? Like, will she get out of this fight okay?
Yeah, and you can't breeze over the weirdest part of the cast, right? The one that we both felt very strongly would exist, despite how ridiculous it is.
Kaku.
Well, what did we call him? The black? You said black. You predicted he'd show up with the black nose. Like you said that would be in his introduction.
I said Kaku would have a black nose, and then here we have it, the Begun with the black hockey nose, and he has the black flames because he is awakened. I just want to say it right here, I'm not one to brag, but me and Par, we guessed this from a mile away. And there were some of y'all out there. I remember the comments. You better call yourselves out right now. They said, wow, it would make no sense if Kaku was awakened. This would undermine everything that Kaido is. I can't believe it. It's already bad enough that Lucci's awakened. There's no way Oda would fumble it this hard. But here we have it. Like, literally, One Piece is kind of a comedy. It loves its characters. Like, Law wasn't supposed to be that prevalent until, you know, he became a fan favorite character. Kaku and Lucci kind of fall in the same boat. Enies Lobby is a really beloved arc. We already had the Luffy callback. We're gonna have the Zoro one as well, and that's why we got this chapter with Kaku being awakened. Now, is he as strong as Zoro? Probably not, right? Like, I think we can all say he's probably not as strong as Zoro.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he's still here. He's still trying to put up a fight. And we got to give credit where it's due. He awakened his fruit in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, he literally time skipped into an awakening, which is pretty crazy to think about. This is I mean, still losing, but it's a feat. It's a feat nonetheless.
Like if you gave Kaku 5 more minutes at Enies Lobby, maybe he would have awakened it right then and there. He seemed to know giraffes way better than all of us.
His understanding was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely the best understanding of giraffes. Like my mom was a zoologist. I studied animals growing up, and giraffes, let me tell you, I learned plenty from Kaku. I remember walking up to my mom like, did you know giraffes are pasta machines?
And then she said, how did you know that? Like Dr. Clover finding out that Robin read the poneglyphs. How do you know the ancient history, Par?
They're gonna come after us.
They're gonna Buster call us now. What are you doing, son? Never say pasta machine again.
That's wild. It's like, here's a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Kaido's here on Egghead, right? We bring Kaido here.
Oh my. Okay.
Lucci, Kaku. They awaken against Kaido. What happens?
Hey, leave me out of this conversation. Y'all ain't ready for it. Leave me out of the Kaido conversation. All I gotta say is that I think Kaido would beat Lucci and Kaku, right?
Both awakened.
I think it'd be I think it'd be a pretty high fight for Kaido, because we saw Awaken Luffy, right? Awaken Luffy kind of gave Kaido some trouble. Awaken Kaku and Lucci, I'd say that Kaido would still win, but it wouldn't be a necessarily easy fight, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be an easy fight whatsoever.
You know how like we say, like, not we, but like, you know, a lot of the people community say that One Piece is going to be like the Bible. It's like going down in like mythology. Like if you, like Tekking I think said it, like if you dug up One Piece 1,000 years from the future, everyone's like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing, we should follow it word for word for the next 2,000 years. Like like
Kaido and Luffy become gods. You're like, oh, thank you, Monkey D. Thank you.
But like you know, like some like mythologies, you get some crazy ass shit. Like I remember my mom told me like a story in like the Quran, like the bird, like the prophet sent birds carrying rocks to take down. I think it was Genghis Khan. I think it was some shit like that.
That's how Genghis Khan died.
No, like
birds dropped rocks on his head.
He had an army of elephants. So nobody could stop the army of elephants. And then the least reasonable thing would be birds, but the birds had rocks, and then they dropped them from the sky, and they just took out the elephant. Is that a real story? I think that is a real story. Like out of, I mean,
I don't think that actually happened, but
yeah, I don't think that actually. Obviously,
no offense, but I don't think birds actually killed elephants with rocks.
But like that is stuff like you hear that shit in mythology, and I feel like Oda was like, you know what? Awakened giraffe and leopard
takes down a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could see it. You know how like they have those like those really Asian shirts out there where it's like a lion and a dragon fighting.
Yeah.
And it has like some corny phrase like "strength is power." Like imagine one of those shirts, but it's Lucci and Kaku versus Kaido.
Yo, I need to get that.
That'd be so dope.
Bro.
That would be a really good shirt. We coined it here.
Like, you know, like the scene where Luffy walks up on Big Mom and Kaido?
Yeah.
Instead of that, you have Awakened Lucci and Kaku, like, two on the side, and then centers Kaido, like, all thugged out. You know what I mean?
Like, as a dragon. And then Big Mom is actually just an old lady. That'd be dope. No, we need to get these permissions. That's too good. And then on the back, it's like it says Psy X Par exclusive.
I'll do it.
Yeah, no,
Let me know in the comments if you want that shirt, because I could get that within the week.
That is hilarious. But yeah, no, Kaku, Lucci being awakened, the Beast Pirates, none of them being awakened. All I gotta say, you could say that the Beast Pirates are stronger. I think that's a very valid argument. But you can't say that CP0 is any less talented, because that would be farther from the truth than anything.
Lucci,
like, they are talented guys.
Lucci or Kaku, either one.
Yeah. Prodigies, bro. Actual prodigies.
Against King. Where do you rank them up?
Oh, they beat King.
They beat King? Kaku cleans King out?
Yeah.
Woo, baby. So do you think that people...
Well, you're looking for the hot takes, but here's the thing, though. Like, as we move along in One Piece, the enemies just keep on getting stronger and stronger.
I agree.
And with Zoro fighting, like, Kaku right now, like, Zoro's definitely stronger than when he fought King. So, like, Kaku coming over here, fighting Zoro, even if Zoro knocked him down, which this is the thing that happened during their own fight back in Enies Lobby, this is a direct callback as well. I mean, Kaku just got back up like it was nobody's business, right? Like, not a single scratch on him. Not even Lucci really cared either. He was like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna go about my day. Like, he made no note about Kaku getting knocked down. He literally says, hey, Seraphim, before Vegapunk gets here, just, destroy the laboratory. Like, that was pretty much, like, he did not care. Kaku sustained no damage from Zoro hitting him. So I want to say that, like, talent-wise, let's scale back the fight because we don't really know how Oda would do it between Kaku and Lucci versus King.
Yeah.
But talent-wise, I want to say Kaku's more talented. Just the awakening aspect of it is crazy.
Now, here's another thing.
Then again, what's up?
A bunch of One Piece creators have just, ended the year, started the year with a top 30 stream. Do you think they should all retcon and have Kaku up there?
No, I think this is the start of a new year. I think it's very fair to, like, say that we're going to get a lot of more crazy things. Like, if you think Kaku awakening is, like, insane, I mean, like, you better buckle up, right? Like, what?
That's what I've been saying. I agree.
We had Kaku awaken, and then what happens in this chapter? Kaku gets taken out by a bite to the neck. He's like a boy in love. He got his first hickey and he's out.
And I'm glad because you didn't fall into the trap card, because if you had said top 30, I was like, oh, but what about Stussy? No. And then you didn't fall.
Here's the thing. I'm just going based off what we have. King, could he get stronger? Yeah. Kaku, could he get stronger? Yeah. People just get stronger in One Piece. They're not static characters, right?
I mean, it's shonen.
It's shonen. Are we saying that Katakuri's going to get no diff by Zoro and everybody else because they're definitely stronger than Gear 4 with Luffy at this time? No. Like, Katakuri's probably going to get stronger. That's just that. It'd be how it be. Until we see them again, all we have to go off of is what we saw a long time ago. But, opinions change. As we get more chapters in One Piece, things could happen. Next chapter, who knows? Kaku might beat Gear 5th Luffy, and then boom, top 30 updated, right? Like, it is how it is.
No, you didn't complete all of what you just said with, who knows? Kaku just slapped the shit out of you. No,
it's like Bonnie's Devil Fruit. It's a distorted future. I think it's fair to say opinions and things can change in One Piece on a daily basis based off of the chapters we get.
But
what's up?
But what's interesting here, because I feel like a lot of the community, I don't like being in a bubble in my reaction of the chapter, because I'm generally a positive person always. Like, I think at the Reverie, someone, I forgot who it was, they were questioning Jay. He was questioning expectations versus reality, and I explained it people. I was saying, I asked the question: do people think that Kid will turn a new leaf on the Elbaf arc, right? Meaning the disappointing portrayal that he's gotten from Oda, which is what I think is truly at the core of it, would be overturned in Elbaf. And some people said, no, we're gonna get more of the same Kid, or some people said, no, they're gonna change it around for Kid. And like Jay was saying, is that expectations? Are you just expecting Kid and then you're just gonna be disappointed, blah blah? And I was saying, no, it's this is an opportunity for Oda to give Kid a different storyline. Whether he does or doesn't, that's up to Oda, and that just tells you where he's gonna focus, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because that expectation is important, because power scaling is a thing. It's a natural thing. That's why when people shit on power scaling,
it's been there since the dawn of man, where Ooga Booga can beat Booga Ooga, right? Who between who of the two cavemen is the strongest? Who's gonna lead the tribe? Everybody's always thinking about power scaling. You can't just push it back to your mind and say, oh, powers don't matter. It's always gonna matter.
And this chapter specifically, I don't know how other people would react, but I imagine more power scaling minded oriented people might be really confused about this chapter, because we talked about it. I talked about how Gear 5 Luffy versus Awaken Lucci, Lucci gets smashed in his guts, whatever, comes out with a bandage, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a god
nothing
fighting.
Ever happened. He comes out with a band-aid and he says, yo, I'm gonna fight Luffy again.
Yeah. And then here we see
respect.
Zoro fighting Kaku, and I didn't even I didn't even absorb the fight because I was just Awaken Kaku. But Zoro did not cut Kaku. He slammed him to the ground, but like you said, nothing really happened. Kaku kind of brushed it off. But then we enter in Stussy, who just shows up.
One taps him, bro.
One taps him to
I wouldn't even say it was an attack. It's literally just a peck on the neck.
Yeah, and
it's like a mosquito bite.
Is her bite stronger than Zoro's? Does she have an ability for that? Is there some kind of hack?
Yeah, no, her bite is stronger than Zoro's sword.
The two Fang style. Fang over Fang.
Going back to it, though, I think it's really good to have expectations in the series. Yeah. But I think where a lot of people, get led astray is that they let their expectations go too wild, and then when it doesn't go their way, they're disappointed. Right. I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think it's fine to have expectations, but when it doesn't turn out the way you expect, I think you shouldn't be hung up on that.
Yeah, especially
if you've read 1072 chapters of One Piece, if this chapter shocks you, I would be shocked. We've seen so many goofy things in One Piece. We've seen so many strange power scaling and dynamics in One Piece. If Zoro versus Kaku clashing is absurd, I don't know what to say. This is One Piece.
I think that part is fine, but I feel this last page is extremely different.
But here's
because
the thing.
It's
people
Lucci,
are hyped about it though.
Yeah, I know. I am hyped about it. I'm questioning because like we just like think about it like this. We just had our expectations of Lucci overturned in like 3 chapters, right?
Yeah.
Because beforehand, people thought he'd get washed, right? Nobody even knew awakenings for normal Azoans existed, right? And then we give him the awakening, and then it's still like, oh, he still gets washed by Luffy anyways. But like we see him, he's still strong, and even he is shocked. And like to me, that's like an expectation, right? Like, is that like, I don't think I've ever seen or expected Lucci to ever make this face. You know what I mean?
All I gotta say is that Lucci was more shocked by Stussy than he was Gear 5th Luffy. Like, I mean, he has the fear of God in his eyes.
Yo.
Like, he is scared. Like, when he met Luffy, it was more of like, oh, Straw Hat. Like, he was confused. This is him, like, scared as hell. He's like staring at the devil.
Yeah.
I mean, that
like,
is... He's
sure,
like, who killed my best friend?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the friend, though. Like, what is going on?
And I made the comparison, right? This is his best friend. It's like if Luffy saw Zoro just get clapped, right? Who did that? Kizaru. And what happened? Luffy was like, guys, we need to fucking run. Like, this shit's crazy.
Here's another good way to put it, too. When Kaku got slammed down by Zoro, Lucci went on a speech talking to the Seraphims. Like, he did not care. But the minute Stussy laid hands on Kaku, Lucci was like, wait a minute. Like, what is going on? What are you doing, Stussy?
Like, you could see it as, like, his reaction is maybe more so that he's shocked at her betrayal.
Yeah, it could be betrayal, too. I mean, it's definitely part betrayal. But it's also like, you could tell he's like, wait a minute. Bro, Hattori, if you look at Hattori, he has a sweat bead dropping down his chin, bro. Like, dude, Stussy got Hattori scaled, man.
No way.
That is what it is. Yeah, Hattori is sweating.
Yo,
Big boss Hattori is scared by this. He's like, wait,
he even goes
Kaku.
He even goes Kaku.
He says Kaku, bro. Kaku.
Oh wait, is he trying to say? He said Kaku's name. That's Kaku in Bird. Kaku.
Wait, is it really? Oh my gosh. Yeah, Hattori speaking English, bro.
Nice.
Dude, Hattori is so shocked that Kaku went down. He changed languages, bro. He transcended. You know how like devil fruits are born from like desires? He had a desire to learn English. And he just manifested it. Oh my goodness.
Like, we think that Kaku is Lucci's best friend. No, he's Hattori's best friend.
Dude, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, because Lucci doesn't say anything. So it's like...
No, I think he's the one who says Kaku.
Yeah.
But before that
Hattori imitates it, bro. To a T.
Yeah. But the ordering it is actually Hattori says it first. Hattori says Kaku.
Oh my goodness. It's too good.
That's crazy. No, and like that's the thing. It's like this is like now, right? The expectation, and this is something that's brand new for this chapter, is even, and again, I had the idea that she might be a triple agent, but I never thought that there would be a day where I'd be scared for Lucci. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I didn't think Stussy versus Lucci, and like Lucci's the one who needs to run.
Lucci versus Luffy, I was like, yo, get that smoke, right? Oh, go clash with Luffy. You got this, boy. But now it's like, Lucci, run away, bro.
Yeah,
Lucci, hide.
Run, like actually,
run, bro, run.
And then that's where it's like I don't know if we have time to talk about all of it, but then it's like, where's the origin source for this? We find out in this chapter, and it's like, where has this been this entire time? Like, this is the Mad's first successful clone, Unit 1 Stussy. So then why are the Pacifistas and Seraphims? Honestly, the Seraphims are low-key lackluster compared to this.
Dude, not just the Pacifistas. Like, Seraphim's still really strong, but the Pacifistas look like a joke if they could create this.
Yeah.
The Maz team created this monster that is definitely stronger than Pacifista, but you didn't they didn't mass produce her, which I feel like there's a reason for it. Maybe it took a lot of money. Maybe it took an actual live person. This is just nuts. Like, we got the clone of Miss Buckingham Stussy, and me and you made a pretty cool revelation during the live stream, thanks to you and I think one of your chatters as well. Yeah. Where we looked at the writing of Buckingham Stussy,
the katakana that they use.
Yeah. We looked at it, And Buckingham is actually spelled exactly the same as Bakken, Miss Bakken, who is Weevil's mother and the self-proclaimed lover of Whitebeard. And there's already so many theories saying that they're the same person, and I feel like this just furthers that as well.
100%.
And it's so crazy, bro. Like, former Rock's pirate, that's another one, which makes sense because in Miss Bakken's lore, she apparently sailed with Whitebeard 40 years ago, which that was the Rock's era. Makes a lot of sense as well. And then we also get the revelation that she is the first successful clone, Unit 01. Which begs the question of, is there a 02 out there, a 03? What is the lineup looking like? And a lot of people are bringing up Blackbeard, they're bringing up Weevil. Like,
yeah, Weevil almost seems like the unsuccessful clone, but prior to this, we talked about that a little bit. But, like, I think the more important thing is, like, Unit 1, to me, indicates that there's more.
There's more.
And that's really crazy because, you know, the limiting factor would be money. But, like, at the same time, right, Seraphim's being really expensive, it's like maybe it's because he put in lasers and it's like Lunarians and they're warlord, like, I don't know, and they put in devil fruit powers into them. But, like, we don't even know if this is devil fruit. We don't see green blood anywhere. These aren't
But
Lunarian
the green
wings.
blood is also just for a paramecia, though.
True. But, like, I mean, that still costs money in making the Seraphims expensive, right? And so, but, like, at the same time, right, this was Mad's first successful clone, which is crazy because Judge was an offshoot of Mad's, and we see his clones.
His clones are doo-doo, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, and then, Judge's clones are in the mud.
And I'll even go out on a limb and you know, Seraphim's aside, but like Vegapunk's clones are kind of doo-doo, right? Like his actual satellites, like Atlas got one shot. Like what is Lilith gonna be strong?
Maybe they weren't meant for combat though. Maybe they were just meant for like testing weapons.
But like why wouldn't they be durable,
peaceful, bro? he's not a menace like, you know, the goats of Judge, Queen, and Caesar.
I guess, but I just feel like I feel like there has to be a solid reason why in every direction this is, like, everything feels like a downgrade from Stussy. From looks, from abilities, taking down an awakened giraffe. Like, this is crazy to
awakened giraffe, CP0, time skip Kaku. Like, bro, Zoro's swords didn't put him down. A singular bite from Stussy did.
And then let's not, you talk about this, like, I wonder if the Seraphims can have dialogue, interesting dialogue. Well, look at what Stussy said to Lucci, bro. She said, it's time for a cat nap, bro. I was like,
no, not even just this. The Seraphim, like you said, barely had any dialogue. Stussy had oogles and boogles of dialogue at the beginning of this arc. Whole Cake Island. She is her own character.
She's an emperor of the underworld, queen of the pleasure district, CP0 agent.
She took over the black market, essentially. Like, this isn't just a clone. Like, imagine going from this and then downgrading to a pacifista. Like, not even Seraphim. Seraphim are kind of a different level, I would say, like, because combat-wise, everything. But pacifistas, though, like, those guys are in the mud. Like, why even have them now?
Like
let's be real, dude. Just make more of this.
Now, in the context of that, Kuma got done so dirty.
Like, oh my god! Imagine Kuma giving up his body to become a weapon, and the weapon. I mean, obviously, the real Kuma is probably just as stronger because of the Nikyu, but having the clone variants like the Pacifistas, PX1, 2, 3, and etc., not being as strong as Stussy is wild. And
you know, we're obviously we have no.
And the real Miss Bakken still walking around. She's not a robot. She's not dead. She's not climbing the red line.
She didn't have to sacrifice herself.
She didn't have to sacrifice herself. No,
she lives happily with their kid right now. They did him dirty.
No, and she hanging out with their kid.
Kuma's not hanging out with his
bro. Kuma doesn't have child. He doesn't have custody, bro.
Custody. God. Side. No, that's so funny.
Dude, right. If this chapter's taught us anything, it shows that women always get custody of their kids, where us men do not.
That's where you want to go.
Pour one out for the homie Kuma. You know, Child Protective Services ain't on his side right off the bat. They don't like men.
Oh god, when CP0 more like CPS.
It's time to join Team Tater Tot.
Child Protective Services. Oh god.
CP0 is just child protection. Oh goodness.
No, but like I get, because for the people in the comments, right? We're breezing by a lot of things, like, you know, here, and we talked a lot about this on my stream, but like at this point we don't really know. So obviously we're gonna be shooting in the dark. But like even if you were to say she had a devil fruit, like,
yeah,
why are we making more of these? like this devil fruit's crazy. Dude, if this is a devil fruit.
So do you think, okay, so let's play like devil's advocate. Let's say this is a devil fruit, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this is a bat devil fruit, or do you think this is a vampire devil fruit? If you had to pick one or the other.
I would go to vampire. This shit's crazy. Like, there's no, like, unless she awakened a bat, like, I think mythical Zoan human vampire model, whatever, would make more sense. And like, and then there's also the option where it's not even that. Maybe they just, like you mentioned too, maybe they spliced her DNA similar to if this is a prototype for a seraphim, then they heard black wings and they just inserted wings on her, made her broken as a clone. She could
be S-Bat.
Yeah, like I don't know, like, does Buckingham stuff? No, none of that relates to a bat. I don't know. Buckingham could be some kind of vampire reference, but like I doubt it.
But here's another thing too, that I want to bring up. Let's say it is like a vampire or bat, like Zoan devil fruit, right?
Yeah.
So we saw that, at least for Vegapunk, he decided to give all of the seraphims devil fruits or abilities that mimic their real life counterpart. Mihawk, he gave him the sword. Kuma has the Nikki Nikki no Mi. Boa has the Meadow Meadow.
Power that reflects, yeah.
Yeah, power that reflects. Do you think Stussy has a power that's similar to the actual Miss Bakken? Do you think that, like, the real Miss Bakken right now has some sort of bat or vampire Zoan devil fruit as well?
Which is why, like, so when I first saw this, and I do this a lot when I read the chapters, like, when there's something that, you know, you can't put a lot of time to, but you just kind of like, okay, mental note.
Make a note, yeah.
On Leloucia, the king is a vampire. Like, if you guys look at Leloucia, the King Seki, he has vampire teeth. And I remember when we saw Leloucia in the recent chapter, they emphasized that. And so he has a vampire head too. Yeah, that and we don't know why, but that was emphasized. Lucia's emphasized. Why even show us the king if they were just going to delete it?
And I think he also doesn't like garlic too. I think that was like a small thing.
Oh, like, and so there's a line of, I mean, yeah, there's a line of logic where there could be a vampire race that's just laid dormant. Maybe Kuma's from that. Like, we don't even know. At this point, there's multiple special races or people. And, like, I'm almost ready for Vegapunk to be like, oh, like, you thought there was, like, one? No, like, there's a whole new world. Like, there's a whole separate world.
Let me tell you what's behind the red line. There's another red line, and I call it the blue line. Yeah. And that's where the world gets really crazy.
Yeah, we have vampires and werewolves and like all this shit, and it's like I don't know, because like it could be a bat, and maybe Miss Buckingham Stussy is from Leloucia, and that is how all these dots connect, right? Why delete Leloucia? Why emphasize King Seki? Why even bring Bakkens into the story with Weevil? What is their tragic storyline there? And then
Weevil, the first unsuccessful clone of Whitebeard.
Yeah, and the Weevil being a clone, or possibly, and then Stussy being the first successful clone of Mads, which Mads is like really crazy to me, because like, was Bakkens a Rocks pirate that left and became a mad scientist? Like, that's like probably one of the craziest storylines. Like,
yeah, because they needed to get her DNA from somewhere, so Miss Bakken had to enter the picture with Vegapunk at some point, right?
Yeah, and then on top of that, their apparent mode is for peace. Their laboratory of peace. And you're telling me a Rocks pirate that was like, you know, I have my own theory about how the Rocks pirates and Rocks might not have been as evil as people think, because you go to Sengoku's lines that he mentioned Rocks, like, oh, king of the world, taking over taboos, attacking the world government. Luffy did every single one of those things that they said Rocks did. Yeah. Every single one of those things. Look at Luffy, he's not an evil dude.
But then again, the Navy still thinks Luffy is evil, minus the people that actually know him.
Exactly.
People are like, oh my god, it's Straw Hat Luffy. I heard he killed 5,000 babies.
Yeah, and so like this could be the equivalent of like Robin, like the Straw Hats disband, and then Robin leaves to the Mads Pirates or the Revs, and then Nami to the what's it called, the Mads team, and I'm just like I feel like this singular panel made things so confusing and
it's
cool.
crazy. You know what's funny too? When spoilers came out, they did not mention this final part really.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how you would bullet point this.
So
like, you know
spoilers,
what I mean?
So Read On and the people who usually leak the chapter, they're very intentional about what they put in and put out. So, because they don't want to spoil the whole chapter. They want to build up that anticipation for when the chapter releases and stuff. So I think they were just like, oh, you know, Bonnie finds Kuma's memories. Kuma has this ability, and Kaku's awakened. And that was pretty much it. But they left out the elephant in the room, which is Stussy. You know, I was like, oh, you know, Stussy might be, she might be a little bit crazy.
Yeah, and then, like, again, I wouldn't even know how to bullet point this panel at all. Like, this is the craziest, like, thing to consolidate, and like there's the connections are endless. Like, a lot of people were going to the Robin panel in 1021 where on Onigashima she like awakened or some sort, and I have a whole video on the Robin thing, and even then I never thought like vampire, but I think in that panel on 1021 she was shown to have fangs as well. So yeah, like
Robin had fangs and wings and everything.
Yeah, and she also had horns too, and like I'm almost wondering if this isn't its own race, but rather like an evolutionary path, maybe. And I don't know where that line of logic would end or where it even starts. Yeah. But I do know now that I feel like Oda, like when you think about it like this, right? This development kind of feels random. But this is the last saga, right?
Everything's being pieced together.
This means that Oda planned this. Like, this was one of the things in his cards of like some kind of like vampirical type of thing, right? Like, and then like, does Mihawk connect to this? Like, because Dracula Mihawk, like, there's so
somebody
many
mentioned like, hey,
questions.
like, does Miss Buckingham have something to do with Mihawk since they're both like vampiric in a way? But another cool thing is that since we're talking about the Rocks Pirates, Blackbeard does come back into play here a little bit.
Yes. Another, like, because when you after all, because like that's what happened. This is exactly what happened, and you just did it to me again. Like, I went through all this thinking, and then you were like, "But Rocks Pirates though, Blackbeard."
Yeah,
and then I was like,
because we got to think about it. So going back to like what Vegapunk or Shaka said earlier, like, oh, it's a 2v7, right? He didn't include Stussy on their side, so there's a chance. There's a pretty good chance that Stussy is not their ally. But if she's not their ally and they're not CP0's allies, who is Stussy allied with? And that is why I didn't go to this. It was a comment in my previous video that mentioned it. Somebody said, hell, what if Stussy is working for Blackbeard? And then I kind of like built upon it, and I was like, wait a minute, like, we are missing the 10th Titanic Commander. A lot of people are wondering who turned off the security systems, because obviously Vegapunk was kind of shocked this happened. CP0 was shocked it happened. Stussy, most notably, had a standoff panel where she had a question mark above her head. Kind of sus, right? But Stussy also knows a lot about the island and how it functions, so it would make sense if she had something to do with it, but she doesn't. But what if she actually did work with the Blackbeard Pirates, and she simply instructed either Shiryu or Lafitte, two agents of Blackbeard's who are known for stealth, to turn it off? And that is how it happened. That is why they went incognito mode. That is why they also knew where to turn it off. And then boom, we have the revelation here that she is a former Rocks Pirates, and we do know that Blackbeard has a weird obsession with Rocks Pirates in general.
Yeah.
So it would make a lot of sense. And I'm like, yo, like that is a pretty solid theory. So I really enjoy that.
If that's the case, then I am wrong about the triple agent. She'd be a quadruple agent, bro. Yeah. She would be Emperor CP0, like, clone for Vegapunk, but then also because she's from the Rocks Pirate. And that's where it's interesting, because she's a Mads clone, you almost feel like she has loyalty to Vegapunk or the like Mads team. But like, at the same time, you'd have to wonder why take the steps that she took, right? She's up here and then she disabled them. It almost seemed like she needed to get to the Labosphere, the Labostratum first, and then once she's there, then she can achieve her thing. She just needed to decommission Kaku and Lucci. But at the same time, like, it's almost interesting because, like, she went after Kaku, right? Kaku is an ally at the moment. why not decommission the Straw Hats first and then decommission Kaku, right?
Yeah, that's another question too.
So then it's like, because on the Blackbeard side, then it's almost like, why help the Straw Hats first? Why not decommission the Straw Hats and then CP0 and then get you what you want from Vegapunk, which would make sense. Like Blackbeard wants something that Vegapunk created or made or has, right?
Yeah.
But like we keep bringing up these really interesting angles that I feel like Oda is just like laughing in his seat about. Right?
Here's one more thing about like Stussy potentially being with Blackbeard. But you know how people always, since the dawn of time, ever since man invented the wheel, we've all been speculating who the Straw Hats will fight on Blackbeard's lineup.
Yeah.
And notoriously throughout the series, literally proven time and time again, Nami and Robin always fight other female pirates.
Yes.
The only female pirate on Blackbeard's crew is Katarina Devon. So adding Stussy as the 10th Titanic commander would give Robin or Nami another female fight. Because, people are like, oh, maybe Nami fights Devon, but who would Robin fight? There's not another girl, so maybe she fights, Pizarro.
I almost feel like Sanji fights Devon as like a
like
Bon
a gag.
Clay.
Yeah.
No, like because a run back from Bon Clay, because it'd be essentially a similar thing.
Yeah.
And then that fruit is, I think. Oh no, Dak Sake. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I shouldn't say all this. I think he has a video coming out. Stay tuned to Dak Sake is one of his videos. But I think that he convinced me that Devon versus Sanji makes a lot of sense. But for me, the way I have always seen it, or not always seen it, that's not right. The way I've been starting to grow to like is that when it comes to Blackbeard Pirates, Oda breaks tradition with them in general, right? They don't play fair, but also he threw out the word battle royale. And I'm like, why? Oda almost feels like he wouldn't make the Blackbeard fight a 1v1 type of thing. He'd make it like a 1v1 v1 v1 v1, and they're just like constantly swapping in the thing, and like Luffy punches Blackbeard, but then Blackbeard grabs Nami, and then Robin snatches Robin thing, but then
that would be dope too.
Van Augur like teleport, like it'd be like a whole hodgepodge battle royale type of thing. And that would be really interesting. But I do like your idea, like, even the connection between the Bat Wings, right? Robin and Stussy, like a 1-to-1 parallel even in imagery, so it'd be really cool. Like, and then another thing would be like Lafitte. If Lafitte has like an angel fruit, a siren fruit, or an angel fruit, Angel would be cool if she has a devil fruit, like an actual devil fruit, like model devil, and then she's like something like that, because then you have an angel and a demon like all on the same team kind of thing. Black wing, white wing. Such
a crazy revelation at the end of this chapter. Who knew one singular panel will throw everybody for a loop?
Yeah, and it's almost like we should have expected it, but like, and like, again, not to toot the horn, but like I did expect it, but it's also like for Oda to like throw in such a crazy, like, I'm the one who's supposed to be making connections, Oda, and then he's here like, how about this one character ties every single like open loop all in one thing. And I like, when I remember I asked you when Stussy was debuted on Egghead, the backstory, I was like, what kind of backstory do you think she even has? And then like neither of us came to anything like super concrete. This is the craziest backstory that could have come out.
It's not just like she's a triple agent. Like, if that was it, then it would be like, oh, whatever. But it was like, she's a triple agent, she's modeled after Miss Buckingham, she had Rocks Pirates connection, she's the first successful clone, she was also made by Mads.
She has bat wings and one-shotted Awakened Zoan.
Yeah. Like, it's like layered. It's a freaking onion. And speaking of onions, I think this is the perfect time to leave the chapter and finally talk about Velma.
I thought you would forget about that. That's crazy.
No, we're running up here in time, and I was like, okay, last 5 minutes. Let's talk about Velma. What are your thoughts? Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it. Wait, have you watched it?
No. I've seen clips, but
I saw the commercial, and I was just like, I had like whiplash like 7 times because I was like, damn, they made Velma black. And then I saw the Mindy Kaling or whatever. So I was like, oh wait, no, she's brown. So then I was like, wait, they made Velma brown.
Are you
and
happy?
Then I mean, I don't care one way or the other, but then they like, and then the whole thing, the commercial ended, and there's no Scooby, and I was like, where the fuck is Scooby? And then they hit me with the Velma show, and I was like, what the fuck is the Velma show? Where's Scooby at? And then I was like, wait, where's Shaggy? And then I
it gets worse and worse.
I resaw it, and I was like, that was Shaggy.
And then they showed Daphne, and Daphne's Asian.
Daphne's Asian?
Yeah,
I didn't
Daphne's
even catch
Asian,
that,
bro.
Oh, I thought she was just like
we don't claim her. We don't claim her.
I didn't know we didn't claim her, but like, damn, that's
Daphne doesn't make the list, bro.
Wait, why? Because grades are like parents or?
No, it's such a weird twist, right?
I feel like because I remember.
Correct me if I don't know. It's like,
were you a big Scooby-Doo fan?
Oh, I was a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
Yeah, me too. Oh man,
like Shaggy being retconned, Velma being retconned. That's cool. Like, it's not my race. Like, who am I to say anything? But Daphne, coming to my side to my side of the line, dude.
It's just
not a huge fan of it. It's just such a jarring like switch up of a show.
I feel like, like inclusivity is one of those things people are like, oh, you don't have to be inclusive. Like, I'm fine with that. Change things up, do that kind of thing. But like this one, it really begs the question of like, why?
Like what
why
were
get
they
rid
thinking?
Of Scooby? Yeah, like Scooby?
If they had a good reason why, I'd be down for it. But they kind of like just switched them up just to switch them up.
I just
like there's no Scooby. They're all in high school. They're not even like friends really. Like from the clips I've seen, the show also kind of like goes off the deep end too. Like there's a lot of really strange things in the show.
Apparently it's more adult. It's kind of like that where but like here's the
Fred,
thing.
Fred cut somebody's legs off at one point. And then there's
goodness.
No, like he throws like like the paper cutter things. Like he throws one of those and then like it just chops somebody's leg off.
Like a normal person?
Yeah, just a regular bystander.
Oh my
goodness. And then there's like a running gag with Fred where he has a small pee-pee. And it's like no, like I'm not even like I've seen it with my own eyes, and it's like I was like, what is going on in this show? Like what is happening here?
Yeah.
And then there's one part where like Shaggy or Norville, as they call him here, like he like confesses
Norville was
his love.
last name.
Is it?
I think his name was Shaggy Norville. I feel like, because I remember there was an iteration of Scooby where they were like in their hometown, and we got to know that like Shaggy came from like a rich family, and I don't think Fred was all that rich, but he like was preppy. I think Daphne also came from a very rich family. I think we already knew that from the regular Scooby-Doo.
So Shaggy's so his first name is Norville, actually, the real Shaggy. So it's Norville Shaggy Rogers is his full name. Whoa, Roger, Goldie Roger? Is this him?
Oh my god. He's
Yo, wait a minute.
The D stands for Shaggy.
That's where Oda got Roger from. He was a big fan of cartoons, and he just watched a bunch of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. And Scooby-Doo. That's the thing. So this is the most upsetting thing, because while Zenith, my newborn son, was born, like I've been talking to him just one-on-one, and like I was dipping in, like obviously gonna watch One Piece and things like that, but I was like, I was singing songs to him, and one song that I always sing is like the Scooby-Doo song, like what's a Scooby-Doo? And so I was singing that, and I was like, oh, you're gonna watch Scooby-Doo, and it's gonna be so fun.
No. And he's not gonna watch Scooby-Doo, he's gonna watch Velma.
And then I came home to like the Mandela effect. Like I feel like my whole I think I tuned into your stream, like I said, tuned into your stream, and I got hit with the Velma show, and I was like, I like looked at my kid, I looked at my wife, and I was like, no, I'm in the same time.
This. Dude, the Velma show, what a go-to thing, man.
Yeah, so you haven't watched it. Maybe we should watch party it together.
Oh my god.
Do you want to? It's on HBO though, I think.
Yeah, it's on HBO. I mean, I'm sure we could find it somewhere, right?
Yeah, we can find it.
Like HBO official channel, haha. But let us in the comments know if you guys would you guys want us to stream the Velma show and just watch it with us on like Discord or something?
Yeah,
I think that'd be kind of goofy. Well, it's not confirmed, but I mean it's an idea out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Velma show though, like I just don't know how I feel about even the mystery aspect of it. It's just high schoolers like looking at random murders, right? Like it's not even like a masked men anymore. It's like, who's the Jeffrey Dahmer of the week, essentially.
I did see like zombies though, so like maybe they still have the supernatural.
Oh, you're right.
Aspect.
There's like supernatural, like there's like a ghost, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so like as if they keep that, but like making it into an actual like high school horror thing is kind of like
with like a little
crazy.
bit of romance too. Like I
but
think
weird romance from what I
weird
saw was
romance.
weird.
It was like Velma
Yeah.
and Daphne like make out at the end of the first episode.
I saw like Daphne naked in like a scene, and I was like, huh, this is.
And then there was I forgot what it was exactly. It was it was Norville or Shaggy. He was confessing his love to Velma, and then Velma just like started laughing at his face.
Damn, like
I was like, bro, what is going on here? Like
and that's
what are these developments?
I forget who I was talking to, but I think it was like the Hidden Island. We were saying like, how do you take like the most marketable part of the show, Scooby-Doo, erase it, the second part, Shaggy, not even use his name, and then take the least marketable one, Velma, which might be why they did it, but like, why not just make a
make a new show? Like make a different show.
Yes,
like call it something else, and then you could have like it's not like the premise is insane. Like you know, you can't have these characters whatsoever. No, it's like you can have them. It's just like you're using the Scooby-Doo IP though. Like why?
Yeah.
Like you're using the IP without actually using the IP. Like you're changing everything about it.
Yeah, it's like
I think that's the most egregious part. Like it's not, you know, I'm cool with like switching up the characters, whatever, but like it's not. At the end of the day, it's not Scooby-Doo though.
Yeah,
like there's nothing about it.
To the extent that it feels like they're doing it, and again, we might be sounding like haters. Like there might be someone in the comments.
It's
like,
not even Velma.
Give it a chance, guys.
It's not even Velma.
Actually...
It's not Fred. Like when I think of Fred from Scooby-Doo, he's the trap guy, right? Like he goes around like I have a plan. I'm gonna lay a trap right here, and it almost never works. Yeah. That's Fred. But in this show, it's Fred has a small pee-pee. No, like literally, that is an ongoing joke. Like 4 different scenes where they just
might be a
it.
trap
like,
in and of itself.
Yeah, it's the real trap.
That might be the play, but like that's the thing. I think that's where like most people would be like, why change things up? You don't need to have a diversity card. No, it's not that. Like do that, but like you could make a show in the image of it without making it like this is like
even be in the universe and just different characters altogether. Like there's a lot of ways this could have worked.
Like it's almost like if you rewrote One Piece and like Luffy was a coward, Zoro was like Sanji, and Sanji was Zoro. Like you know what I mean? Like you just flipped them for the fun of it, and you kept their names.
Nami is in the show, but Nami's actually like Bon Clay.
Yeah, and you don't call it the One Piece.
Huh?
You call it like the red line. Like I don't even know. Like the most like the
it
grand
just doesn't
line. Like,
make sense. They just flipped the characters entirely on their head. Like the only thing Velma in this show has with the OG Velma is the word jinkies.
Oh, I was gonna say glasses. Maybe she's.
I mean, glasses. I guess the look, right? Like the clothes are gonna be the same, but minus the clothes, it's literally just jinkies. That's the only thing about her personality that's the same, and it's so crazy because I watched an interview with the lady that made the show or directed or whatever, like Mindy.
Oh, she directed this?
Yeah. She like came up with a lot, like she essentially crafted the show herself. And you know what she said?
What?
It's the craziest part. She was like, hey, like, she was like, I can't believe people are hating the show because Velma's Indian. Like it's just a bunch of racist trolls. And it's like, it's not though. Like that's not the problem. Like Velma being Indian isn't a big deal, believe it or not. It's just the show itself.
Velma's
it's the
not
concept.
A very Indian name, to be fair, but like what's her last name? Singh? Like what are we gonna add? Like Velma.
Yeah, I want Daphne to have a Lao's name. Can I protest for that?
Yeah, like no, but like
Daphne's last name is now Song. We can have Velma Singh and Daphne Song.
I feel like Mindy has a bad track record with the. I feel like I've heard this said a few times with other.
She has an interesting track record. She's been like trying to like distance herself from The Office too. Yeah, but like it's such an interesting like thing to follow.
Yeah, and that's where I kind of wonder. I feel like what Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Super, like like there's some things that like like maybe the creator went like sideways and like they destroyed their own series, but with this it feels like no, and then you confirmed it. It's not the original. Like I guess Scooby-Doo
it's
got
not the
sold.
OG writers, yeah.
Scooby-Doo
owned by
got
Warner
sold.
Brothers and then sold to HBO.
Damn.
But yeah, it's like we did the One Piece thing, but even going to Dragon Ball, it's like making a show called Krillin, right? And then all of a sudden Krillin is the strongest being in the universe. Goku hides at home and he's too afraid to see sunlight. And then you have Vegeta, but Vegeta is an alien, and he visits Earth like once a month. It's like
Frieza's
what?
a monkey.
Frieza's actually just a monkey, like in the jungle. It's like nothing would make any sense. Like just call it a new show. Like
Real
like
quick,
come on.
In multiverses, are they gonna make Velma Indian? I just realized that. Are they gonna change? Because they have Shaggy and Velma in there, but they're all white in there.
Hey, we don't ruin multiverses. That's a good game, but I think it kind of fell off, didn't it?
It did fall off. I don't know why. I just got busy, but like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it
while it was like, you know, when it first came out. I'm just
feel
not a
like
big fan of like Smash games.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the game meta, that's not the meta for games right now.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like in general
it works
the meta,
for Smash, but I feel like other like there's not enough of the Smash fan base to go around. I feel like is the main problem.
There's not enough people unhappy with Smash that they're willing to leave Smash, which is usually where you get your niche for like a new game. Like, oh, like this game sucks ass, the devs suck, like let's make our own game or a different game and blah blah. But there wasn't really that, which is fine. Multiverse is fine, but the thing is, it's not like a battle royale. That's like more meta. But even like when you think about gaming meta, there's not really. Like before it was MOBAs with League and Dota, like, and then there was like battle royales, but now there's not really a meta. It's really hard to make a good game right now.
Like for the fighting genre specifically though, like Dragon Ball FighterZ took off pretty hard, and it's still like being played competitively, and that's simply because there's no other like 3v3 games out there that was super competitive other than like Marvel vs. Capcom, which is very, very old. So they needed a new game. So that's why those players hopped onto Dragon Ball.
Right.
Whereas like you said, like Smash Brothers is still very prominent. Like they're not gonna leave that and then go to multiverses out of nowhere.
Like a lot of like the hardcore Smash people would rather play Melee over whatever.
Yeah. The only thing bad about like Smash is like Nintendo, but that's like nothing new.
Yeah. Nintendo. Yeah. They're trying though. They're starting. They have Pokemon Worlds, right?
They're very strict. Very strict.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we're gonna close out here. Do you want to end the night off on anything here, Par? Can you tell me how you made these families disappear in the back alley? Since you're a magician.
You know, I think having a son, it makes you think some things.
Oh my god. Now that I have a son, I want to see kids grow up without a father.
So you make families disappear. Being like the character arc for like some villain in some like random manhwa or manga. Like some guy becomes a dad and he's like, I'm not happy. Like they go to the park and they get upset with all the other families. They're just like, be gone. Disappear.
Like no one can have a happy family besides me. So Par like rubs his hands together and then he like just gets rid of them in the back street like a magician.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like the furthest thing from the truth. Because like the moment I got the baby, I was like, and then you were like, me too. Like, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Well, if you guys want to check out his magic tricks, check him out on his channel at Parvision. He is linked down below. He does One Piece theories as well, but you really go there for the magic tricks. And then as far as my channel goes, please consider liking, commenting, and subbing to this video. And I will do handiwork on this channel, such as how to fix a sink, how to fix a toilet, and likewise stuff. And occasionally I'll do One Piece spoilers and content. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of your week. And thanks for watching this video. Peace out.